Well, hello and welcome back to Helga's House of Pain. Yeah, we got some white stuff, but not a lot, not a lot. I was seeing on Facebook, Esteban got like a foot of snow. So, they can keep that. I'll just be happy with this for a while. Just tickety-boo. So thanks for clicking on the video. Sure are all glad you came for a visit to the Shire here at Wreck-It Ranch. So it is lunchtime, as per normal. Piper Duck starts his day. Did some phoning this morning, and thanks to a piece of information that I got on my last video, I called Heartland Livestock, and yes, they are quite up on you can sell your calves at the end of the year, and they can defer your check to the new year, which is quite nice. So that's good to know. I don't think we'll be able to do it this year, just not really good for timing. There's 2 more sales that we could get into, but I think we'll just leave it for next season. But it's good to know. So thanks Chad Tosh for that bit of info. And we'll get out here and blow some hay, boy. Pick this one up. I'm gonna start giving them a little bit of the crappy stuff on the ground as well, just to, because they're getting a bit more motivated now. It's getting colder. I just peeved off an entire herd of cows. They all thought I was going back down there to where I've been putting the hay for a while. Nope. I want to push them back down to number 5 and number 6. So, gotta follow me, girls. Still keeping an eye on our little lame girl. She's, see if when I turn here, you can see her. She's all by herself. She can't walk. She just like to do a lot of walking. I might dart her today, we'll see. Anyway, as we found out, actually thanks to the bulls, that post is broken at the ground where they've been hitting that brush hard. So that's going to be replaced next year. There's the board fixes we did yesterday. And then we'll get to placing this chunk of wall there today. Hopefully the girls know to come around the fence. Blackbird, don't be dummy. Oh, the gate is open. Thought I'd opened it. Maybe I'll just put the hay up here with this girl. She'll be happy of it. Don't have to walk as far. So, you kind of see there, number 1 to there, and then you see number 2. And then this is just the roughage bale from Bennett's. So this lot will chow 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 on this stuff. There's that girl there. So she could barely walk on it. See her there? Her hind right. She could barely walk on it a couple of days ago, and she's at least walking around on it. I try to not give antibiotics as often as possible, because she obviously just either got it poked on a stick or she got a stone stuck up in there. I can't see any sign of swelling or any like bad infection, so because I'm just going to keep an eye on her. Penny can just stop shoving her around, creature. Anyway, so yeah, so they get their 1 and the 2, and then they get this Bennett bale so they can just fill up on extra roughage, which, you know, all this straw that's standing, that's what that would be. So the irony being, these Bennett bales, some of them were like bone dry, and some of them there was water on the underside of the swath, but I needed it up in the bale. And any of the bales that I've used up, opened up, or spread out so far, there's no spoilage in them, so it kind of proves the point. Even with some of the ones where the spots were 33 to 35, 6% moisture in them, they sweat it out. As long as there's enough dry matter and they're not packed super dense, which my bales aren't. My bales are usually in around about the 1,300 to 1,400 pound bales. So if you're doing 1,600, 1,700 pound bales, they're not going to sweat out. Your bales will burn, they will combust. So that kind of shows you. You can do a close-up, I suppose, but if I think of it, it's still good. They'll head over there, pick at it, come back to the good stuff, and then vice versa, go back and forward. So I might do this every other day now. They do have still 2 bales and bale feeders down there, but they're not as prone to dig through that stuff when it's in a big chunk. Whereas if you lay it out like this, they will pick through it. So I'm gonna go and put my eyes on her foot now. See, it's very stemmy. See a lot of that white stuff, like the yellow? That's that big sweet clover stem. Now there is food value in it, not a lot. But in amongst it is a lot of that sort of slough grass, wiregrass, brome meadow, because it's an old sheep pasture. So, and yes, none of these bales have net wrap in them. They've all been unwrapped beforehand. So yeah. And that's the thing, a lot of people might think going up there to Bennett's and bailing off that crap was a waste. But if you put it in the balance, it has its value. Like I said, we have very high protein hay. We literally can't feed it to the cows once they've calved, because it just scours right through the calves, thanks to Michael over there at 3D Ranch. Hey, Michael. So balancing versus doing what BCP do with bale processing, bale shredding. If we mix that in with that stuff, yeah, that'd be the same thing. But if you can kind of teach your cows to go to it, they'll eat this, they'll pick through the other stuff, they'll balance themselves out, they'll get it figured out. Okay, I'm gonna head back to the yard. I gotta rip over to Dennis, see how they're getting on with the tractor, and then I gotta try and give Dennis a bunch of money, because they got us the bill for the new front shoes for the big orange tractor, and the bill for coming out to the field and rescuing us with the swather. Yes, folks, that's them finally getting that bill to us, not us getting it paid. Them actually billing us. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, so I can safely tell you, them being out there for 2 or 3 days, 2 trucks, 2 or 3 guys, different times. We paid for all the parts because we went and picked up all of the major parts from New Holland. They had all the incidentals like oils and O-rings and other incidentals. But I can tell you, it was a heck of a lot cheaper than what Mazer's charged for doing the work in the yard. A country mile cheaper. So support local, support your smaller shops. So I said I will give our work to Jody and Dennis 100 times over than rather go to a big dealership as much as possible. Because the irony is, like repair work, most of that money at dealerships, because all the mechanics and the parts guys, they're all flat rate. So it doesn't matter, like if you're buying big fancy equipment or even just, expensive secondhand equipment, doesn't matter. All of the guys that you know, the hard-working ones, they're flat rate. They get paid the same. It doesn't matter what way around it is. Now, if you're running big fancy equipment and your equipment, dealership and investors, they love that. I could give a rat's bahookie about that lot. I've paid for enough holidays and beachside cabin payments for all those salesmen and all the rest of them. So yeah, they can shove that right up their death pipe. Sorry for getting a bit wordy there. Anyway, let's go. I'll see you in the truck. I'm feeling good. 5 to 6, and it is black as the ace of spades. Oh, pardon my sniffins. So, used up a bunch of boards that can be salvaged. Brought in some new boards, and then I brought in some new boards for top caps because this length never got top capped. So for those who don't know, the plan is, the reason the wall goes all the way over there and the fence is there in the middle of the screen, is this is actually going to be a bull corral at some point. So the wall will come down, come back along to the gate here, and then we'll split it on this water trough. It's kind of one of the reasons a water trough is situated this way around. That way we can split it right across the pad and then have animals in here drinking from that side and these guys free to this side. So nice to see those repairs done. That repair finally done after 2 years. And so yeah, now I know I've got a big post there to replace, so that's fun, yeah. Okay, I'm frozen, it's time to go in. Groundhog Day. Yeah, some of them just stop started eating, the rest of them chase thinking there's better stuff. So I'm just gonna check on this roughage bale. So they've been digging into it. Probably got about 50-60% of it eaten, which is good enough for me. Like I said, I could just give them the 2 bales and let them clean up through that, but it's cold and windy today, so I'd far rather they get lots of belly full. So I've got another one in here. I've still got a bunch more of these bales, and then we have a bunch of the alfalfa bales over there from Second Cut that got rained on, and they're just really dusty and black. So I'm gonna do the same thing, 2 good, and then give them one of the other stuff so they can just kind of pick through. But that stuff definitely has to go through the bale processor because it is so dusty, and you don't want them sticking their heads into a bale feeder through that stuff. So it's better it's out on the ground where they have lots of ventilation. So drop this and we'll get a better day. So this is what I'm talking about. Muy dusty. So this will get rid of most of that, and that way they can get everything else out of there. But yeah, you don't want them breathing that stuff in. That's why I've only got a few bales in the bale feeders there. Probably what I'll end up doing is taking them out of the bale feeders and run them through this again. Big pile in the bucket. Sorry before we get any snow. Dang good time to get all this net wrap tidied up. Just throw it in a big pile for now. I'm gonna find out, like, I know all the provinces, they have pickup services where recycle net wrap. And for the most part, my net wrap is 99% clean. Not a lot of straw in it because I unwrap the bales. Now when there's a lot more snow and ice later in the winter, it gets harder to keep it clean, but I usually let it sit and melt out in the spring. Some of it ends up in the burning pile, but if I can find somebody that will actually recycle it, I'd save it, put it in a corner, or even jam it into some of those big tote bags I've got in the workshop. Just stuff them up, and they wouldn't be too hard to transport then, at least. So yeah, big shout out to all the farmers in the UK today. It's their big protests in London. The irony being is most of them are in pretty swanky new looking tractors. They're different if they showed up in a bunch of these old relics, but the rules and road laws about farm equipment are very, very strict in the UK. So yeah, you can't just go running around in tractors with lights missing. So, but yeah, big shout out to them. They're saying there's about a dozen of the farmers have been arrested so far. I don't know if it's just a case of they're making a point out of it, not actually. These guys won't actually go to jail or anything. I highly doubt it. It's kind of along the lines of what happened with the Canadian Freedom Convoy. Government doesn't like it when feedback comes right to their front door. Yeah, because they're used to living in their big ivory towers in the capital, and they don't ever actually have to see the ramifications of easy on crime, hard on hard-working family equity. Because that's the big thing. It's like here, and it's there in the UK as well, where they're heavily taxing any sort of where you try to hand down your hard work to your family members, inheritance-wise. The UK is really bad. They're talking about how inheritance tax is so high, it's literally putting the farms out of business to try and pay that tax off. So yeah, it's absolutely nuts. It's literally robbery. Anyway, that's enough of that rant. Okay, I'm gonna go switch, put the bale spikes on. These are the feed, the Golden Girls are the feed, and the calves are the feed. It's big feeding day today. Hey, well, I might just be overcompensating, but one of the ones from this lot that got weaned, they're one of the twins. She's kind of lethargic, very runny poop coming out of her. She just seemed kind of down. She's eating. She just seemed very sort of paleo-ally. So I gave her a shot of New Floor just to see, just to give her a wee help. Who's this girl? Hey, Miss Ty. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Hi. Hey, Miss Ty. And there's the big queen bee. How are you doing, girly girl? She's like a big tabletop. Look at the size of you. She's, her back is up to my oxters. She's a big girl. Comes from a big mama. Hey, Agnes. Okay, I gotta throw these boards on the other side. Hi, beauty. I know that ski ramp anywhere. Shaking your stuff around town like you're Sharon Stone. Hey? Yeah. Yeah, I got a nice wee shelter in here. It'd be nice when you get that wall finished off. Now you stay up there, you beggars. Okay. Throw my tub, because I'm going to stand on that. Use these boards. Hey, mama. Georgie? No, not Georgie. Maggie. Hi, Maggie. My big teddy bear, just keeping me company. So the one job left to do is to run the top cap along these, because you can see how they're all, well, not all of them, some of them are curving and warping and stuff. And that little chatter they do in the wind, that will loosen boards up quicker than anything. So we found that you put the top rail on, it just helps hold everything together and stops them working the nails out, because some of these do still have nails in them. I don't want to use nails, but sometimes you run out of screws. I've actually got to do a run to the Home Depot because I'm almost out of 3.5 and 4-inch screws, so I'll need them for when we start on the big shelter. So I've got to do a town run, which, oh, you know me and loving town. See, there's one board right there. Look at that for a curve. We'll get that one wrangled back into shape. So yeah, the whole plan is this go from here in through the trees. So So the trees will be incorporated into the end of the corral. Technically, eventually the cottonwoods will all be down, so it'll just be the evergreens. So the evergreens will be on the outside of the corral. That cottonwood will come down eventually, so make a decent sized corral here for the bulls. We'll just put bales along the back of it just to protect them from all of the big storms. We do have, that's why we've got trees along here as the snow, slow the snow down. So anyway, I'm just warming up my tootsies and then I'll get back at her. It's wind chill of -10 right now. Yeah, because I'm out in the open here. So, not fun. That's before the wind chill. She's done. She's done. I have a half a dozen screws to put into this last board. But I can walk out with those in my pocket and do it, so that'll be an easy job tomorrow. It's almost shutting down time for supper. Oh my gosh. Just schmaggy. That is pure. I can't go backing up too much here. There's all these tires sitting around. Yeah, there's one right there. One right there. I got well till we do silage over again. The girls are out here. Nibble schnibbling, they'll probably lay down right there over there. I can head out here. It's a great thing about having all these gates, there's always escape routes away from the girls. Holy moly! We're into winter, boys, we're into winter. She's a done deal. Holy moly. Well, if that's all she wrote, that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go in, warm up. I gotta go dig out my snow boots. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.